Okay, so we have 3 competitors here for Sandra Morrow. So the one thing that I see here is that they do provide some resource and some value, which is great. So for example, they want you to download their app. All right, I see that. Right off the top above the fold, they have a subscribe button. So they want you to subscribe to their email list. Okay. It doesn't really give me, though, reveal your divine presence and power, conscious development with Tierra Kimura. Yeah, that doesn't get me excited to subscribe. I'll be honest with you. But I'm looking at the navigation here, and let's dive in. So there's a drop down here. She has a book that you can get on Amazon. It's not really, I would have the book on the homepage, right? Like, Melissa, remember Robin Sharma's website? That website was powerful. I mean, it had all the elements you would want on a site, you know, right above the fold. It was like, grab one of 8 of my books. like it was in your face, which was,
it was nicely structured.
Yeah. So she has courses here. Let's see what happens here. The navigation doesn't really pop out. Like it took me a second to like figure out what it was and, you know, what it does. Right. So she has a video here. Empowerment series.
It's not terrible, but nothing pops up. Yeah, as you said, like there are no features that you should see first. You see everything all at once.
Okay, it looks like that's her there. That's her team member. Okay, I like the fact that she showcases, you know, the facilitators. I think that's good. But it's kind of buried down below. So I would have brought that up and then got into it.
But it's kind of like overwhelming for someone. You know, I was just listening to you guys and looking at your screen. It's kind of overwhelming. It doesn't, you know, I really have to be like reading everything for me to get what's on it. You know, what she's offering.
There's no visual structure,
I agree.
Or maybe, you know, just having like keywords, like shortened title for each section.
How often do people read anymore? I mean, I hate to say it, but like...
Yeah, me personally, I don't want to read everything. I'm just looking for a keyword or a particular thing that I am looking for on a surface.
Catches your attention.
Yeah, that catches my attention.
Yeah. When I go to websites, I'm scanning headlines.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, okay, does that grab me? Does that grab me?
Yes.
Where's the call to action? What do they want me to do next? Right. These are the things that I look at, you know, right away. And if I don't have that, then I get lost.
Yes.
Right. And confused people don't buy. Now look at this. This is like a completely different look.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The image is more crisp.
Yeah.
More colorful.
Like this is pretty.
This is better than the previous page.
And how come? How come?
Probably they're using templates, so they're not using them really well.
Why is this so much better than this?
Because it's less overwhelming, less content, more images, more visual kind of influence, and then it's kind of better structured. I guess that this is something that, they used the template for this. Maybe they used another template for their, like, their real homepage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say their logo is also dated now. I just noticed the logo now.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
even notice it.
the brand identity is definitely dated, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah, and weak. Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like here, this is where you can get the meditations. All right.
Mm.
So if you click on here, it'll take you to, okay. So they're selling the meditations for $10 a piece. Okay. All right. Right off the bat though, this layout is just so much more eye catching and updated, than the previous. So what are some things that we could take away from this particular brand? One is they're sort of outdated from an identity standpoint. The user experience looks like on the homepage and inner pages are, again, a lot of very text heavy, overwhelming, hard to figure out what it is that you want us to do first, second, and third. So looking at that from a user experience standpoint, there needs to be tremendous simplification here.
Right.
When it comes to, someone hitting the page and going, okay, this is what I need to do. So now here's a podcast, which is, I like. It's good that she has a podcast because it's really helping her connect with her audience, giving people a chance to connect with her. The other thing I like is like when you click on a hyperlink, it opens up a new browser page. And I always find that to be a little bit easier to navigate rather than clicking the back button. This is a big disaster. So we want to, right? Okay, same thing here. So some coding stuff, some layout stuff that, and again, this is first impressions, right? Mm-hmm. First impressions go a long way. If I see outdated, if I see copy going in through text, like I'd say, is the quality of this service going to be the same way? I mean, again, this all plays a huge role psychologically and subconsciously, I should say.
Yeah.
When we're developing a brand identity.
And I really think if, she should feature her best product or service on the homepage.
Yeah.
Because people browse and scroll, your homepage before they go to your inner pages.
Correct. Yeah. So for Sandy, our client, what we want to do is we want to treat her website like like you would introduce her if she was physically standing in front of us. So it's who is she? What does she do? What makes her unique? And what are some things that we can give to our audience of that is of value to them immediately to create the relationship building process? When we can do that, we're going to have a great user experience. People are going to get familiar with the know, like, and trust factor, right, of Sandy, and then they're either going to take action or they're not. But we want to make it a no-brainer of a thought, of an action for our visitors. Like, of course, I want to move forward, with her services. So having that demonstrated in a very simplistic way is I think how we're going to win here. So great feedback, guys, when it comes to this stuff, when it comes to this particular site. Let's move on to the next site, which is, here she is. Now, this is right off the bat. Who's the first person we see?
Yeah, Melinda.
Right? Very, you could see that she's heavily influenced by...
Yeah, by spiritual and like sacred and divine. And that's the thing I wanted to also ask, how far do we go, for example, for Sandra Morrow with this type of visual presentation? Do we really use this stuff, like tap into the whole divine and sacred thing, or do we tone it down more?
If I were to answer that question for Sandy, I would say tone it down for the simple fact that I find it distracting.
Yeah, but I was thinking, I was also thinking about her audience. They could dig into it if you only think about the three user profiles that we have. But it could be, for me, definitely it could be really distracting. And I think you would lose more clients than you would get by just forcing this spiritual thing.
Yeah. I think that we can certainly use accents of it. And I bet you, Malika, when you get into the Stylescape process, I think you're going to be able to put that stuff in there nicely without any, issues, without it making it distracting or overwhelming. But let's get into some of the aesthetics of the site. Now, one thing that I don't like is the use of the outer glow. It's a very outdated, text effect. And I don't like the lack of contrast between the text, right, and the background. So online scheduler and healing sessions are nearly like invisible.
Yeah, I agree.
So being able to see those, and online schedule, I think that's very important, for her visitors. If you want to schedule a session with her, that should be like, bam, right in your face. So as we scroll down here, so she's not cheap by any means, which I like. So she's selling, $3,000 programs here, if you can see here, right? Personal healing session. So what do I like about her? She's straight to the point with her sales and with her offerings. And I think that's very important. If you want a website that sells, then make it first and foremost on the site. Like, make it easy is what I'm trying to say for people to buy. Now, I don't know what the conversion rate is, especially if I don't know Melinda, right? I think if you're familiar with Melinda, this is an easy transaction. If you don't know Melinda, right, we need some relationship building. Yeah, we need some testimonial. So she's got some video here. It's a 6-minute video. Okay. So it looks like, so that's great. So she was featured on a local news station. That's great. A couple of times. So that's cool. Yeah, and I think from a visual standpoint too, it's a little dated to me.
Yeah, and it's not consistent. You don't actually, if you see this website and you go to like 10 others that do the same thing, I don't think you would memorize it by some visual characteristic.
Yeah, I agree.
It probably looks like other websites out there. It doesn't stand out on anything visual.
Yeah, too sad, because she has all the elements for you to have a good website, but the look and feel, it's kind of like, it's not good. It's not nice.
And here's the thing. I have to scroll a couple of times. Learn to heal yourself and others and change the world. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to make me, engage.
And scroll down and see what she offers. I agree.
Learn to hear. There's a lot of voice, not voice, but the messaging I feel isn't strong enough. It didn't grab me by the throat, right? Mm-hmm. And I use that term a lot, but it's so true. Like, if nowadays I'm not being grabbed by the throat by visual identity, by verbal identity, you're going to get passed on. You're going to get passed over. And so we have to make it short, punchy, to the point, like bam, do this and get this, right? So, and then her navigation up here is sort of lost behind the graphic behind it. And it's too much. It's too much.
But she wouldn't get new clients with this. I think she would only keep what she already has.
I agree. I will say, some of the good news is that she has links out to her social media platforms. So, if you want to go to her YouTube channel, just curious to see what her presence looks like here. So 461 subscribers, is she an authority in her niche? I don't know. What
it doesn't like it's updated. That video was 7 years ago, 4 months ago, 10 months ago. Yeah.
Again, from a subconscious standpoint, makes me think, is she up on trend? I want the latest, greatest, best, service, offering, solution, right? So again, these are the things that are going through my mind when I'm hitting sites and looking for somebody to help me. So great point, Pam, staying up to date.
Right.
Is key. So, all right. So one of the things though, in her logo, look at her logo, super simple. It's font based, new healing dimensions. I would like to see a tagline for Sandra that is more like results oriented or outcome oriented. So like you see Sandra Morrow and underneath that, transforming lives or getting into, like something that I could tell right away, bam, this is how this person's going to help me. I'm thinking as I go through both of these sites right now, I'm saying to myself how we could just blow them away from, from a design identity standpoint, but also from a messaging standpoint and a user experience standpoint. Panache here is going to give us a little run for our money here. So it looks like he might. So let's go check out his site. So it's panachedesai.com. So couple things. One is right off the bat, it's him.
That's it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And look at the call to action, or look at the headline. I'm here to serve you. If you're new to the site, go here.
Start here. Right.
Awesome. Well, I am. So let me go. Okay. So now I come here. And again, he's challenging the visitor right away. I invite you to change your energy and change your life. Look at it. He's saying, come and check me out first.
Yeah, he's direct.
I love it.
Yeah.
Soul support for $1. I love it. He's got a $39 a month subscription. Pay up front and get a discount.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying, join the community for $1 for 1 month. I bet you that has a high retention rate. They come in for $1, and then month 2, they start getting billed $39 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Facebook live streams, always offered without cost. Transformation Legacy Program. So now he starts getting deeper into his services.
Mm-hmm.
I wish to make this wisdom accessible to everyone and offer a level 3 of this program on a donation basis. That's an interesting model. I think the call to actions could be a little bit more prevalent.
Right.
Maybe buttons. And I love how he's got this numbered, like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's outdated, clearly. Like, I just think the look and feel is outdated, but like from a simplicity standpoint, from a experience standpoint, I'm like, okay, he's just walking me down the steps.
And he's direct.
Very direct.
He's direct. You'll know right away what he's offering, what you need to do. This is how it's cost, and this is what's going to happen next,
He's been featured on Oz, Huffington Post. Like, that's going to make me want to learn more. But if I got to come all the way down here to figure that out, chances are I'm not going to know. I'm not going to know any of this stuff because I'm not going to scroll. So the expansion manifesto, you know, one of the things here that I've noticed with this particular site is that the sections, like he goes into the expansion manifesto, there's no real introduction to that. Like, what I'm trying to say is if I knew what each section was all about, I'd have a better understanding of the like where he wants to take me, the flow, you know, what all the information means and why it's on the page, right? So the direction, so his directness, I really love. The simplicity of it is what I love. Just again, outdated from an identity standpoint, and again, subliminally, I'm saying, is this something that I want as an individual? You know, with everything changing so rapidly these days, how do I want the latest, the best. And when I see a site that's a little outdated, I question all of that.
One thing I noticed too, Henry, is that I don't feel the connection. If I am someone who's struggling with whatever, and I stumble upon this website, it's gonna be, it's like for me, you are in this business because you are offering, and this is like real business, but you know, the care for your audience and the personal connection, and there's nothing like that. Probably because of the messaging and because it's outdated, that could be the reason.
I love that.
I would say first, when you just look at the above the fold, it draws you in because his image with his
but when you start scrolling down,
and then you start scrolling down, and then you get lost completely. Overwhelming content and a lot of images. He has he has a nice social proof with all the famous people. He also has the image with Oprah. Maybe that's sometimes even better than to have a video, because for the people who get there first time, they just scroll, they see the social proof, and they kind of build trust more fast than someone
right away.
Video,
And he's using look at all the fonts he's using.
Different fonts. I remember your post on IG about that.
A lot of fonts.
I would say contributes to the clutter.
Yeah. Like 2 maximum. Oh, there he is. Yeah, I mean, and
it should be like up there,
It's so tiny. Yeah. He's sitting there with freaking Oprah Winfrey. Right? Buried at the bottom of the page.
Like at the footer already.
Yeah. Buried at the bottom of the page. Him, beautiful photo with Oprah. If I was him, Oprah and I would be right here.
Yes.
So the social proof is good here, and then like Melita said before, you get here and what does the calendar, that calendar shouldn't be there. There's a lot of information here that doesn't need to be and could be restructured somewhere else.
You get lost in the colors, in fonts, and in sections. You don't know where are you going.
So what is the moral of the story here? Simplify, simplify, simplify.
Yes.
Because again, when I hit this page, I got extremely overwhelmed. So how are we going to position Sandy moving forward, right? I think one of the biggest things that we need to pay attention to is simplification. I think in this space, personal development space, it's very crowded. It's very hard to distinguish yourself from other people. What makes you so different than the other person that's peddling the same service, right? I think you really need to accentuate that personal connection. I think Pam made a great point. When I come to the site, I don't get that connection, that one-on-one. 9 times out of 10, people are going to hire you because you make them feel safe. You make them feel confident. You make them feel secure. You make them feel like you're the right choice. If that's not demonstrated on the website in a way that's just easily digestible, again, they're going to move on to somebody else because we're just too overwhelmed these days with information. We want the site to connect with them on as many sense levels as we can.
Yeah.
That concludes the competitive audit here. And then we will proceed with the stylescapes next. And then, by the end of the week, we should have something to present, and then go from there.